Okay, welcome back. ME 311-312 Metrology Lab, which is week 2. Now I'm going to be talking about height gauges, and we have 3 different types here that we're going to show you. And again, this is a digital one. Look really similar to the digital height or digital calipers that we looked at earlier. On, off, inches, millimeters, and then this is where you'd re-zero it. So that's a digital height gauge. This is a vernier. I get it up close enough here so you can see the numbers and stuff. One thing that's unique about verniers is they're sort of tough to read. And traditionally they're going to have a magnifying glass that would snap over it like that. So when you get perpendicular to it with your line of sight, you can see exactly where the reading takes place. And again, that's because you have to line up the line between the sliding scale and the stationary scale, which is the one on the main beam of the height gauge here. So that is a, and then this one, get these things out of the way. These two that I've got here are huge. This one here's got a 24-inch range. This one is a height gauge, and it is a dial height gauge. And so typically there's a big knob on the back of it, and we're going to rotate it. Loosen it up here. There we go. And so that's going to go up or down. Dial indicator. These are thousandths of an inch, and the machine has 24 inches of vertical range. Now I've shown you 3 basic types. We're going to do all the demonstrations and stuff with this little digital one that I've got here. I've got a shadow that I'm trying to get rid of here. Height gauges have got a couple basic components. Like your digital calipers, it's got a beam across here, digital beam. You open it and close it like this. And right now I'm on top of granite surface plate. And granite surface plates are great because they're a known flat datum that we can take measurements from. And if I take the height gauge right now, go all the way to the bottom, and then I'm going to zero it out. I'm going to just for a second see if I can figure out how to get rid of that stupid shadow that I'm seeing there. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Anyhow, I might just have to live with it. The height gauges are a piece of metrology equipment that's used for taking measurements and stuff like that. And I'll show you really quickly how to make some base measurements and then how to use them for doing layouts and different stuff like that. Just like the digital caliper, they have a little locking screw here to lock the beam in position, and all the rest of the measurements are taken pretty much exactly the same way. So I'm going to wipe off the table with my hand, set it down here, and to calibrate a height gauge, you go down against a known flat surface like this, and then we're going to zero it. So I'll zero it right there, and I'm going to bring back in the same 1, 2, 3 block that I used earlier when I was showing you the calipers. Back at the camera just a little bit here. There we go. And if I want to measure the height of it, come across here like that, and see if I can get it. Gotta change my light around. Sorry about this, you guys. Okay. Down to 0. Back up here. And again, if you guys can see that, it's exactly 2.00 inches. I'm going to make a height for the 3-inch dimension. I'm going to go like this, come down, and it's pretty damn close to 3 inches. So height measurements, stuff like that is great, but let's say that you got something that's going to be a little more complicated to measure, like the V-block that we showed you guys earlier. Again, if I want to measure the top of it, I can come down. If I need to set it down on a flat surface, and I want to measure the distance between the bottom of this part and the bottom of the inside of this slot right here, set it down on a flat surface, bring it in like that. I could spin it around, go like that on end. All these measurements are going to be really kind of quick and easy, and since I have a really flat known surface to work from, it makes it so that it's really quick. Now, when I mentioned layout earlier, what layout is actually using an instrument to describe lines for figuring out where you want the edge of a slot or where you want to locate a hole or something like that. So I've got a piece of aluminum here, and this is an aluminum soft jaw. These are 6 inches long roughly, and we can just check that by going up with our caliper, and it's 6.004. Now if I wanted to drill a hole right in the middle of this block, and I realize I'm out of screen here a little way, sorry about that, but I'm going to bring my caliper down until it's exactly 3.00 inches. Yeah, okay, we're going to get it really close. How's that? I keep overshooting here. Maybe I had too much coffee today. There we go. We'll call that close enough. I'm going to set that on the beam and lock it in position so it's not going to move up and down. And then I'm just going to scribe a line across the back of this aluminum block. And this thing here you see is called a spur, just like on the back of a caliper. And it's made so that it's sharp on one side so you can leave a line. You can see that line that I just scribed on this block here. Let me see if I can get the light just right so you see it. So you can see that line that I just created across there. Now, if I had this, and I'm going to put it up here on screen, and I want to make it centered between this surface and that one, what I'm going to do is I'll bring my caliper down on top of that. I've got it on top of a 1, 2, 3 block so you guys can see what's going on. And I'm going to zero my caliper, and just like that. And so now my height gauge reads 0, and that is from, let me tip the camera forward so you see what's going on. So from the base of the part, if I want to go find the dead center of that, I'm going to come up exactly 1.00 inches. And we'll show you other ways how to do this with milling machines and stuff like that. I'll lock the set screw down, come across here, scribe another line. So now I've got a bullseye or a crosshair right there in the center of my part where I would want to line up and drill a hole or make that this position where I have a pattern that references from or something like that. So now if I've got a piece there and I need to put indicators or layout lines on it, we would use a height gauge for doing that. Height gauges are real simple, they're easy to use. I could show any one of you guys, especially if I had you here in the shop, which I don't, how to do this and use them for laying out sheet metal and doing all kinds of stuff like that. So this is a height gauge, and if you have any questions, we're going to be talking about this tomorrow. Okay, heard out.